Untitled Chapter.
Harrodsburg was founded in 1774, 2 years before the Declaration of Independence was even signed. It was established by a group of pioneers led by James Harrod and is referred to as the birthplace of the West. James Harrod was ordered by Lord Dunmore to lead an expedition to survey the land promised to the soldiers that had served in the French and Indian War. On June 16, 1774, the men had established the first settlement. Harrod and his men had just completed the first structures when Dunmore sent Daniel Boone to call them back. But in March of 1775, Harrod led a group of settlers back, but this time to stay. Look at this gorgeous tree. This is a late 18th century Osage orange tree, and it's one of the most unique trees in the nation. It's 75 foot tall, and it's got a base circumference of 56 inches. It's actually taller and wider than the national champion that's found in Virginia, but because of the split trunk, it's actually dubbed the unofficial national champion because of that. There we are, looking into Fort Harrod.
Okay, we're here with Betty at the fort. What's your most enjoyable part of working here?
Working with the children that come in with the school system.
Good, and it really looks like you enjoy what you do.
I do enjoy what I do.
So she's the nicest lady. So yeah.
That's an old clock. I think it's a clock. I don't know. Maybe it's a calendar. Do you know what that is?
I don't know if that's a calendar or if that's just a sundial.
Welcome to Old Fort Harrod State Park and the James Harrod Blockhouse. Old Fort Harrod State Park commemorates the first permanent European settlement west of the Alleghenies. In March of 1774, Captain James Harrod and about 32
Papa's getting educated. What do you learn about, Papa?
It talks about the spring, and this is where they got their water. But the original one was at the bottom of the hill in the northwest corner of the fort.
Here's Papa's part. Gunpowder.
Gunpowder.
Group of men would transport gunpowder in drum-shaped kegs that fit snugly against horses' flanks. The kegs' hoops were made of saplings rather than metal to prevent sparks. The powder was stored in an earthen magazine camouflaged as a root cellar. James Harrod led a convoy bringing in gunpowder in 1770. The magazine in Fort Harrod was located near the southwest corner.
Got a keg of gunpowder in there.
I'm just going to give you a
Keg of gunpowder.
Keg of gunpowder.
Let's check it out. So different times of year you'll have an actual blacksmith in here forging and actually using this. But the time that we're here, it's a little colder, so. But they still have it automated so that you can get the information.
Close to the spring is the blacksmith shop.
That bench would look really, really good in my mud room.
It would, wouldn't it?
This is what a hotel was like back in the day. Mark McGowan cabin.
He answered.
This is what a average house looked like back in the Revolutionary War era.
Of the Revolutionary War period. Betsy's cord cherry bed, its homespun
Cool.
mattress and feather tick.
We talk about togetherness.
Bed and her kitchen
This would be it right here.
Yeah, your whole family living in this.
Yep, I think family living in one room.
William Pogue cabin.
of the famous
Here's how you do it. Get to school. Look at the little baby bed.
Yeah.
George Rogers Clark headquarters. Here's what it would have been like and looked out to look for Indians or shoot, see who's coming. Look at how the windows were made there. It's carved out of wood.
Yeah, I was looking at the doors of the blacksmith cabin was like that. It's kind of neat, or not the blacksmith cabin, but the gunsmith.
I would imagine that this would actually go all the way around the wall, even though it's not here. I'm assuming that this bridge would go all the way around.
I bet it would too, just for lookout purposes. To see over there. Yeah, you got a little something on your face there. It's like right about here.
Oh, no.
You got something on your face. You really get into your eating, don't you?
Hey there, buddy.
Hey.
Say hello to the viewers. Subscribe. This would have been medicine garden and a kitchen garden. Obviously, they didn't have a CVS around the corner, so their medicine is what they grew. In the kitchen, they didn't have McDonald's around the corner, so the food they ate came from the ground. They had to grow it.
I'm Tom. This is my daughter Sophia. We came from northern Kentucky. My daughter had come down here once before with her grandparents, and we usually do Sunday day trips, and she's like, Dad, you gotta come down. It'll actually take you back a little bit without just like showing you props. This is the
Yeah.
It'll really make you think about some things.
Like in a museum, normally they just show you like these artifacts and they just kind of tell you about them. No, not here. Here they actually show you like the whole community.
Let's take you back to an idea of like this is not that far away.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
it's not as distant as we like to think it really is.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not.
Absolutely.
And it just shows the, this was a community that maybe didn't want to, maybe did or did not, but they did work together.
Still here at Fort Harrod. There's also this chapel here. This is the Lincoln marriage cabin. Marriage of Thomas and Nancy took place in the Beecham property of Nancy's uncle Richard Berry Sr., Washington County. Oh, it looks like the cabin's actually inside of this, so it's kind of like enshrined by this. And here is the cabin. It is. It's inside the building.
Oh, wow, that's neat. Yeah.
Yep, got married right here. It's a historic cabin where Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks were married by Reverend Jesse Head. Nancy Hanks was a seamstress and worked for Richard Berry Jr. before her marriage. It's thought that Nancy was brought to the home by her friend and boss's wife, Polly. And Richard Berry Jr. was said to be good friends with Thomas Lincoln, who was a carpenter at the time. Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks were married in this little cabin and later became parents to the 16th President of the United States, President Abraham Lincoln. Everything we are today is connected to our past, and Fort Harrod State Park offers its visitors a chance to step back in time and see things how they would have been. There's so much more to see and do that there's no possible way we could have put it all in one video. So I highly recommend Harrodsburg, Kentucky as a cool road trip to take, especially if you're into history.
Where'd you guys travel from?
Vermont.
It's a nice place. Is there any other place you all travel to?
Oh yeah, we've been all over. We went to the Ark Encounter,
Oh, wow.
Creation Museum,
Oh, that's
Churchill
cool.
Downs. We've seen it all. Versailles. I think into Kentucky they say Versailles.
Versailles.
We just drove through there. We've been looking at all the thoroughbred. We went to 1792 Barton Distillery. We went to my old Kentucky home.
There you go.
We touched the bluegrass. We're the bluegrass state. And we had Mammoth Caves National Park.
Oh wow, you guys have made
We've seen a lot. We love it here. So looking at, we have a farm in Vermont called Sweet Seasons Farm and Artisan Confections. And we want to learn how to make those mint julep chocolate truffles.
There you
go.
go.
So we can bring a little bourbon up to the North Country. Get those Yankees up there to try some good bourbon from the South of right here in Kentucky.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it was good to meet you all. Thanks you for doing the interview, and we appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. We look forward to seeing your YouTube channel.
All right. Like and subscribe. Check it out.
Okay, we will.